Hey, welcome back to Miss Maddie's studio. I'm Maddie, and in today's video, I'll be taking my bullet journal cover from this to this. All right, and the image is of my character Lottie, or Carlotta, from a comic that I created called Fluff. And it's also inspired by Alice in Wonderland and the singing flowers when Alice is teeny tiny. I have always loved those singing flowers, especially the rose, the white rose. She just spoke to me as a little girl who was also a singer who loves singing those high notes, though well, my voice has obviously lowered over the years, but I've always been a soprano one. I really love high notes. I believe I can still hit a high E, but it's hard. And it's been a while since I have, so I can sing that, the high notes from the Phantom of the Opera Angel of Music still, so that makes me happy. And anyone who is also a singer, like everyone who was a trained singer has one song that they're so proud of being able to perform, and that one is mine. Angel of Music is one of the many songs that I thoroughly love enjoying. Right now it's been obviously Chappell Roan. I mean, who hasn't heard of the amazing Chappell Roan and been obsessed with their music? If you haven't, I'm concerned about you. Like, are you okay? Have you not been on the internet in the past couple of months? Are you doing okay? I'm kidding. Everyone has their own music taste, right? Well, I'm making this bullet journal cover because I've been bullet journaling for the last couple of years. It's really one of the only ways that I can keep my brain together. I do have autism and ADHD, and for a really long time I was just going through the motions. I didn't even realize I was autistic or neurodivergent in any way until about 2021. My mom has now been diagnosed officially with ADHD, and we're all working on getting our own official diagnoses, but it obviously runs in my family. And it's very obvious after learning some of the difficulties that are pretty common for other neurodivergent people, autistic, ADHD people. I fall into a lot of those categories. I've never really felt more seen or understood than when I discovered those communities and realized what was really happening in my life and what was going on and what I'd been struggling with for my entire life. And I just thought that I was weird and like an alien, and it's really comforting to know that that's not it. My brain was wired a little bit different. So that's this, but though, bullet journaling, to-do lists, that is how I live my life. That is how I make sure that I take care of myself, how I make sure to remember important dates, important events, how I keep my house clean. I have to remind myself, like, oh yeah, you left a dish in the sink overnight to soak, and now next day you have to go and clean that dish. Or, oh hey, the laundry basket's getting pretty full, I should put that on my to-do list for tomorrow. And that has kept me going for the last couple of years. It's really made things a lot easier for me, so I don't have to sit and keep all of that in my brain, which just takes up way too many spoons, and I end up forgetting things. I can't actually fully remember it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just how I work. That's how my brain works, and I have to do things to set myself up for success. And the major thing that really helped with that is bullet journaling. And I think part of that is because it is so fully customizable. I can go through and it's just a blank journal that I can go through and make my own, infuse my own art into it, infuse my own, completely out of frame. Come on, Maddie, it's out of frame. Goodness. Okay. Well, I'm just dabbing on green leaves at the moment anyway. It's not too exciting. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I can completely customize it and make my art, and I really enjoy that part of it, that customizing, the bringing my art into it, seeing all of my artwork throughout it while I'm filling out the book during these times. That brings me even more inspiration. It definitely gives me the boosts of serotonin. It makes me just want to continue it. Now, I used to go like month by month making the bullet journal and literally just like doing it as I go. But that doesn't work because for anyone who is neurodivergent, you know, burnout is a real thing, and that is something that I really, really struggle with. I will go from times of mania where I am just crazy over the board doing it. I feel great. I'm getting everything accomplished that should have been accomplished, you know, months ago or something. But, you know, accomplishing so much, and then I'm just burnt out and I can barely get out of bed. I barely can feed myself. It can get bad. So during those times, I need to still have my bullet journal, my to-do list, all of these things in the bullet journal that I keep track of. I need that still. And it's hard when I'm not feeling good, when I'm not feeling creative, and I'm not in a good mental state. It doesn't work. I have to be able to keep going even when I am feeling completely burnt out. I need to be able to set myself up still so that I can keep going. Because I got a lot of people relying on me. I have my son relying on me, and I homeschool my son, so that's a big responsibility. I take care of a full house of people while being a disabled woman. It's tough. I got a lot on my plate, and I need that not to all be in my brain, or it's not gonna happen. Which is what was happening. My house was in disarray. My life was in disarray for many years because I didn't know that these things were going to help so much. I don't know why this white looks pink. It's straight up, it must be because it's on the green. It looks pink, but I swear to you, it is white. And it's weird because when I get to the daisies, I think you'll notice that the daisies are not the same white as this. I used just pure white for the lantern, and it ended up looking pink. It even looks pink on Carlotta's face. I don't even call her Carlotta. Why am I calling her Carlotta now? Her name's Lottie. Oh, I can talk about her. I love... Okay. And now see? This one is called Vanilla, and it's like an off-white, and it looks more white than the white did. I don't know. Color theory. So, Lottie, she is one half of my character duo in Fluff. She is the younger artist of the team. The other one is Camilla, or Cammy, and they are in a romantic relationship. That is the base of Fluff. If anyone has read any like fanfic work or anything like that, you'll probably know what Fluff is, or romance novels or anything along those lines. You'll probably know what Fluff means. For anyone else, Fluff is that romantic, gooey, gushy stuff, you know, like the flowers, the holding hands, the cutesy, lovey-dovey bits. That's Fluff. And I decided to start writing this comic because I was writing another book, which is called The Things That Haunt Me, which is a collection of all of my personal ghost stories. I grew up in a haunted house, so I have many stories, and I decided, I saw someone else had written a book of all of their ghost stories, and then it like clicked for me, like that is a thing that can be done. Like, my stories don't have to be fantasy. I can use my personal ghost experiences as inspiration and write them out as I remember them. So that book is actually complete. I am in the process of editing it right now, and next month, during October, spooky season, I am going to be doing a spooky story time with my art videos, and I'm going to take a selection of the stories from that book. I'm going to try not to, do too many really scary ones. It's going to go from like least scary to most scary. The most scary one is going to be on Halloween, which is a Thursday, but I am making a special Halloween video, and it's going to include the scariest story that I'm willing to share outside of the book, and hopefully you guys like that. Hopefully you will enjoy the spooky videos, because I love spooky stuff. I'm a huge fan of horror. I'm a huge fan of the spooks. So I love spooky stuff so much. So I needed something to contrast that absolutely terrifying stories that just like brought me back to some of the scariest times in my life. And so I made Fluff. And I needed something that was fluff, so that's why I named it Fluff. And it is the love story of Lottie and Cammy, how they first meet, how their relationship develops. They're best friends who have more feelings for each other and end up, confessing their love to each other. And it's mostly, it's not, okay, how do I say this? So there are some actual comic parts of this where it is a typical comic style, very, here's the, oh my goodness, words. I'm having such a struggle with words today. I apologize. It is a typical comic style, I'll just say it like that. And then there are other parts that are illustrations with a kind of poem over the top of it. And I wanted it to be this combination of both, because when it's in a book form, I wanted it to kind of be like chapter breaks, where you have the one chapter, which is a typical comic style, or 1 to 2 chapters that are typical comic style, and then in between you have this like double page spread, splash page, that has this really intricate illustration with a sweet poem over the top of it. So that, it's funny, this is the first time I've ever painted Lottie or Cammy, and I do actually have a really hard time drawing them typically, and I started trying to make myself not so intimidated by them, because I draw women all the time. It's like the majority of what I draw is women. So why I'm having such a hard time drawing these two lovely ladies, I don't know. I do think that it's because I wrote almost their entire story before I ever drew them, which is not something I ever do. Usually it's the complete opposite, where I draw a character and I'm like, ooh, this character is amazing. I love this character. What's this character's story? What is their background? What, you know, and then it goes from there. So I think that might be part of the reason why I struggle with, or why I was struggling with drawing them. I've actually drawn them a couple of times in my bullet journals. Like I have a theme for every month. So every month of my bullet journal, I have this just very specific theme that goes with it. I make the entire month based around that. And in one of them, it was it pairs or was it love? It was something along those lines. It was like duos or couples, and I drew like a bird couple, I drew a couple of cats, I believe, and then I drew Lottie and Cammy. And that really helped me like break through the mold of this giant block I had given myself over drawing them. And then when I decided that I was going to do this Alice in Wonderland kind of themed painting, I thought, why not put Lottie in it? Like, I would love to see Lottie in that Alice in Wonderland role. She is very similar personality-wise, innocence-wise, but still a little rebellious. And that was funny. Babe was pointing out that there was a hair on my picture right there. I don't know how, but you know, cats running around, dog running around, who knows. So I really do love how this comes out eventually. I mean, you guys saw the end piece, so yeah, it's really cool. I love it. And let's see. Oh, I was talking about the themes I do. So let's talk about bullet journaling a little bit more. So for me, when I don't know if everyone has the same definition of bullet journaling because of my neurodivergence, but let me say I use it as a daily to-do list, so I can write down everything that I need to do in a day. Usually I write it the night before. It's part of my bedtime routine to get myself ready to actually fall asleep. But I also do things like track my mood during the month. I have a self-care list so that I go through and remember to actually take care of myself, because that is something I really struggle with. I have a page that has monthly goals, and I have a page that like wraps up the end of the month. What happened during the month? Was it a good month? Was it a bad month? Was it, you know, that kind of thing. And that helps me so much throughout the day, throughout the month. It really helps me stay actually grounded and present in my everyday, because that is also something that I really struggle with as someone who is both neurodivergent and had a lot of trauma growing up. I used disassociating and maladaptive daydreaming as my everything. That was the way that I got through, and in adulthood I don't like that, and I'm trying desperately to make that not be a thing. I want to be present. I don't want to not remember my life anymore. I can't do that for my son. I don't feel like that's fair to Babe, you know, like I want to be present, and this helps me stay present, helps me accomplish goals and all of that. So I have some kind of random themes in this one because I try really hard not to repeat themes except for the month of June, because that is my birthday month. My birthday is at the beginning of June, June 2nd, so every June in my bullet journal is all about me. I draw like a bunch of pictures about myself, and you know, it's all me themed. And so the themes that I did for this bullet journal, which goes from October 2024 to September 2025. So here we go in order. The months are, or the themes of the months are sheet ghosts, mushrooms, fairies, moths, birds, snakes, blooming flowers, cats, me, dinosaurs, roses, and then Tokidoki Unicornos. So what I try to do is if someone has a birthday in that month, one of my loved ones, I will try to make that month focused on something that either reminds me of them or something they really like. For example, my nephew's birthday is the only birthday that we have in July, and so I made July's theme dinosaurs because he really likes dinosaurs. Now, I can't do that for like September because there are, gosh, I think there are 4 or 5 birthdays in September in my family. So I ended up making that one Tokidoki Unicornos because that's more about me than them, because I love Tokidoki Unicornos, but it's okay because I couldn't make it about anyone, you know. And obviously October for having sheet ghosts is, you know, I didn't want to make it Halloween themed because I feel like that's really generic. I try not to be generic with it, and so I think sheet ghosts is a really less, I mean, it might still be generic. Some people might say that's generic. I think it's not. I think it's generic enough that I can make a bunch of different things with, but not so generic that it's, you know, not good. And I didn't do like a Thanksgiving theme for November or a Christmas theme for December because I don't like to do that. And yeah, here we are, we're done. Look at that. I love it so much. I love the little fairy face or fairy flower faces. I love Carlotta's face, and of course I have to varnish it. I mean, I want it protected. I want it to stay for the entire year that I'm using it. Hopefully it won't get too damaged. Maybe I can give an update on that when by the end of the year. But it should be good, right? Right? Hopefully. I hope. It's really dry now. It's been a couple of days since I've done it, and it's pretty perfect now. I really love how the varnish just really brings out all of those colors. See, here it is, like, pretty completely dry. This is my cover page to keep my ducks in a row. In October and November, we got some mushrooms, roasting marshmallows. December's fairies, and I did all of this in just ink and my alcohol markers. I love this cutesy little girl. I love her. This one's alright. I wasn't a big fan of how that one came out. I love this one so much. Okay, you can't tell me that's not adorable. This one's fine, you know, it's fine. And this one, I love this one too. Obviously, you know, Mother's Day themed. Okay, we're getting to the end here, so thank you all for watching today, and please like, subscribe, and comment for the algorithm. And if you want to support me more, I do have a Patreon and a website, and I have a TeePublic account. All of those things are in my bio. Bye!